Welcome back to another Northwood Tales Spooky Podcast.
And in honor of us moving to the St. Paul area of Minnesota, we are going to be talking about the Wabasha Street Caves.
Ooh,
and the ghost gangsters that belong there or inhabit it, supposedly.
A ghost.
Yeah,
I like this one.
Yeah. Did you know that St. Paul, Minnesota was home to many mobsters and gangsters back in the 1920s and 30s?
You name a popular one? You name the most popular of them all?
You want me to?
Yeah.
John Dillinger.
Ooh. What's the next one?
Yep.
Next one.
There's also I think Ma Baker and her sons are pretty big ones too. And there's also Leon, was it Gleckman?
Yeah.
Right? Gleckman. He was known as was it the St. Paul Al Capone or Minnesota Al Capone?
Al Capone of St. Paul.
Yes, that's what it was. That was his title. I'm sure he hung out down in the caves, but we're not going to talk about him today. But he's a big one. If you guys want to do your research, there's a ton of books. Like, I already own like 3 of them. Ton of options.
It's so cool.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know why they don't talk about this topic more.
Right? For being in the area. Because St. Paul as a city is pretty old.
Yes.
And we'll go into the history.
Yes.
It's really interesting.
Buckle up for this one.
Yes.
Get your Tommy guns. Get your cigarettes. Don't get your cigarettes. You're nasty.
A little bit of history about the caves.
Where are they? Where did they come from?
They are located on the south shore of the Mississippi River in downtown St. Paul. And they were made out of sandstone. And they were originally created or mined out when they were trying to get silica sand, which they used to produce glass. It was the original kind of creation of the caves. Throughout the years, though, the caves have been home to a variety of different businesses, such as restaurants and bars. There's a speakeasy that was built into it.
Speakeasy.
And also they used it for mushroom growing factories and even a place, I don't know if you're from the Midwest, if you've heard of Land O'Lakes, like Land O'Lakes butter and stuff like that. Yep, they used it to make blue cheese because it's damp and dark and everything in the caves. Yeah.
I'd rather come get y'all mushrooms.
Yeah, so perfect for mushrooms, perfect for aging cheese. I'm sure people could do. I'm surprised they haven't done wine down there. That would be a good one too. But Minnesota, where are you gonna go grapes in Minnesota though?
At the University of Minnesota.
Yeah. Or cider maybe. We could grow apples up here.
Yes.
That might be cool. So
yes.
After all this other stuff has kind of happened, or even before some of this stuff, in 1933 there was the Castle Royal that was built over the caves, and it's actually still here today, but it goes by a different name, which they just call it the Wabasha Street Caves now, and it's owned by the city of St. Paul, and they give tours, and the people are kind of dressed in theme for the 20s and the 30s, and me and Emily have gone, and it's super cool, really informative.
Yes, cold.
It was cold.
It's cold. And it's not just because there's ghosts.
Yeah,
You're
no.
in a mountain.
Yeah, and the big kicker is that Castle Royal was known to be a safe haven for criminals such as Ma Barker, Babyface Nelson is the other one, and John Dillinger.
Baby.
Mm-hmm.
And another one. And another one. Say his name.
John Dillinger, yeah.
Al Capone.
Well, I mean, he may or may not. Yeah, he's been into the city because he lived in Chicago.
Yes.
He had a house in Wisconsin, I think. But he's been all over the Midwest.
He's kind of the Midwest gangster.
He is terrifying.
He's adorable.
Adorably scary.
Yeah.
Yeah, because he has when he was younger, he looked really intimidating. When he was older, he kind of filled out a little bit more, and it made him look nicer. And I'm sure because he had kids, Yeah,
he can't be that much of a demon. He got kids. He's smart. He's smug.
Yeah. So there was a thing that was set up with the St. Paul police that the gangsters and the mobsters would keep the crime over in Minneapolis in exchange for their safety over in St. Paul to keep the crime down. So that's a big kicker. So there's a lot of stuff that happened in Minneapolis. There was
Love that.
a kidnapping of one of the
Him.
the bank. Which one? Brem? Starts with a B. Bremer Bank. Whoever I think the owner at the time, they kidnapped him. And then there was, I think they kidnapped the guy who owns Ham's Brewery too.
Yeah, that's the one I guess.
Yes,
I was thinking
and
of.
like I think it's Bremer Bank. Let's see if it shows
It's
up.
showing me modern banks. Bank
Let me
of
look.
the West. Wells Fargo. No. Well, this is fun.
Let me look
I
real
think
quick.
it
I think it's
was
Bremer Bank. Yes, kidnapping of
common.
Edward Bremer. So yep. So there was a couple of kidnappings, and I think that was done by the Barker Karpus gang, who kidnapped him for
Jeez.
money. Yep.
Can you imagine just chilling in your,
So Ma
in
Barker.
your workplace and you just get snatched?
So Ma Barker and her 2 boys
Dead
kidnapped
boys.
him. And the Karpus, I don't remember. I think there was a couple family members to that, but they were like all part of their own gangster gang. That was the
yeah.
prominent one. So anyways, we went on a tour of the Wabasha Street Caves, and I think we can both agree that we want to go back.
Oh,
That'd be a whole lot of
100%.
fun.
It's even just walking up to the building, so cool. It's not.
And we'll show
It's a very
pictures. It's
unique
like built.
experience.
It's like built into the
Yeah.
face of the
Yep.
cliffside here. And one of the stories that they told us on the tour was about a triple murder involving some Chicago gangsters. One evening, 4 gangsters were playing poker after everyone had left, when suddenly one remaining waitress heard gunshots in the fireside room. And then she went to investigate and saw 3 dead bodies on the ground. She called the police and they told her to wait outside, so she left the building, or the caves. A few hours later, the police took her back to the crime scene, which was now miraculously clean, with fresh tablecloths and even a neatly stacked poker chip, stack. The police told her to never call them again for a false report, and the murderer was never found, and neither were the bodies. So theories that could have happened, the murderer hid the bodies in the caves, which is totally plausible.
One.
Yep. And I don't know at the time if they could hide it, because there was something about the story to do with the mushrooms in there that somehow it could. I don't know what it was. It was something. And apparently during this time, since there was kind of like the setup between the police in St. Paul
Yes.
and the gangsters, they supposedly carried an extra uniform in their cars in order to sneak out gangsters. So they think that someone snuck him out of the crime scene, and there was no evidence, because he had probably walked out with them, because they made her
100%.
evacuate the building, and if she was the only one there.
Yeah.
And the only remaining evidence of the event are bullet holes that were left in the fireplace, which we saw. They're still there. There's
Yeah. That's the
I
coolest
think
part.
I saw 2 of them were more prominent.
Yeah. Cersei's climbing on things. Be
If
careful,
you hear
fat
noises,
one.
that's our cat.
She likes to explore, but she's also fat, so she can't. She has really bad balance.
Yeah, she's something. She's a chunk. She's a chunk.
Oh, but these bullet holes, if
They were prominent.
there's 2 of them that you can really see, and then there's smaller ones that they kind of patched up
Yeah.
that you wouldn't know were there unless when the tour guide actually
Yeah.
points them out, and you're like,
And you could tell, because I
that's
think
real.
you could tell it went from the bottom left to the top right. Was that correct?
yes.
And it was
it's
spraying.
an actual spray.
Yeah,
You know
of
the
the Tommy
old
gun.
the old movies where they have it low and just that was
Ooh.
it's real. That was 100% a 20s
Yeah.
gangster spray of bullets.
Which is cool, because you don't think of that for
No.
Minnesota. You think obviously
No,
Chicago.
Minnesota, nice. We're all supposed to be passive aggressive,
Not
swinging Tommy guns around,
or blowing up people's cars. That happened too.
kicking people off bridges,
Mm-hmm.
breaking into banks.
Right? There's so many stories. So because of all this gangster activity that went down in the caves, there's got to be ghost stories, right?
Oh yeah, you're murdered maliciously in a cave.
Who knows how many other people?
Oh yeah, I'm sure interrogations, drag someone in,
Right?
beat the crap out of them.
Like the back of the caves?
Yeah.
Like if they have a way
There's so
in.
many caves. There's more than just like when you walk into this beautiful building, you walk in, you immediately see kind of this tunnel into the cave that's all carpeted, fancy. There's a little water fountain thing with a boodly-doo flower things.
Like an arbor, is that what it's called?
Yeah, I don't know. You walk around it because it's a solid piece in the middle. But from that kind of tunnel, there's like where all the tables are, and there's a little stage and lights and stuff, and then the fireplace is right next to the stage.
Yeah,
right?
the little back room.
Yeah.
There's like an eatery area. Like I think people can do weddings there.
Yes, you
so
can.
There's the dance floor, and then there's a back like
that's where
eating area where the
that's
fireplace
is. And then next to it, down a little tiny doorway, hallway thing, is the bar.
Yep.
So there's a wall in between the bar. And then once you get past that section into the cave part, it drops like 20 degrees.
Yeah, it's freezing.
And
we could only go so far.
Yes.
They won't let us wander off, which a lot of it has closed or collapsed, I think. But you can still get in. There's
there's like a secret door on the outside that you can.
Yeah.
I'm sure it's kept under surveillance. Don't try it.
Yeah.
They're nice people there.
And I'm sure, because the cliff's so big, I'm sure there's
It's
other
massive.
like ways into other tunnels
There has to be.
that all interconnect.
Especially back then when they were having all these separate caves. Was there like 5 of them, 6 of them, something?
There's a lot. There's
a
probably
lot.
even more.
So there has to be, just how mines work, you have to have different entrances and exits in case of a collapse. So.
Well, and that's what it was used for originally, was the silica mining. So I think they had already pre-dug.
Not mushies?
Not initially,
Mushies
but
came later.
Yeah, it came later. The silica, I believe, is the first. So there is a couple of ghost stories. Let's see. There's reports of ghostly activity, and they include faint music, lights and doors moving on their own.
Ooh, I don't like that.
Along with a shadow of a man and a woman appearing on the dance floor.
Oh, that's okay.
And they're one of the more common sightings that they see, and it's usually around 2 or 3 a.m. Because sometimes they throw parties, or if you have a wedding or something like that down there, I'm sure you potentially see them.
Weddings, at least here for event spaces, goes until midnight. Rarely can you go past that.
Yep.
So it would make sense if cleaning crew take down all the event stuff and they see someone.
Yeah. And they do swing dances and stuff like that. And they used to, I think in October, they do haunted tours.
Yes. Yep. Because when we went, it was still summer.
Yeah.
And then they mentioned the spoopy tours, and they had like little candles.
Yep.
You get to carry around.
Yeah.
When we went, it was dark.
It was
and
still
we
dark.
had to go, when you walk into the first part of the caves, it's like this huge long cave tunnel, and then there's like little like caves to the sides, all black.
Yeah.
Like you have no idea where you're going.
Everyone was shining their phone lights in there.
Yep.
Yeah.
And even that's not enough.
No.
It's so dark.
It doesn't reach that far back.
Like, yeah, no crap. It's a cave. It's going to be dark, but it was so much darker than I expected. Even if there's lights behind us, still wasn't enough to illuminate. Like, I'm staring. When this amazing tour guide is talking, I'm just staring at this dark crevice.
Yeah.
I'm like, if something pops out of there, I'm going to freak out and run away.
And she held the accent, too.
Oh,
Not only
her
was she in
accent
costume.
was so good. I love East Coast accents. Stellar.
And another rather common ghost report is an apparition of a man wearing is it a Panama hat?
Like
Panama hat.
normal-
Almost kind of like a boat hat. Who is seen in a variety of different locations inside the caves. So he just kind of likes to
just
wander.
running around. He's looking for his mushies and his Tommy gun.
Yep. And then at any given time, the employees and tour guides say that they have probably about 25 to 30 ghosts. They say the caves are very high in ghosts per square foot ratio is what they're thinking, just because they have a lot of activity in the back.
Jeez.
And they are proud to say that they are one of the only 3 sites in St. Paul considered haunted enough to qualify for the National Registration of Haunted Places.
Oh, oh, we were in there. Mm-hmm.
And see, I didn't get any, maybe in the caves, but I think it was just because it was like cold and damp that I got like weird feelings. I don't know.
I guess
Lauren's
I was just so,
she's more in tune. She was with us too. She's one of our friends.
Yeah, she has a little more, she's a little sensitive to that stuff. But I didn't get anything.
No, I
just
didn't either.
Because we were so amazed by the actual history.
Right? Yeah. That's like one of my favorite eras to research, and like the style and everything. I just kind of went like head first. I'm like, tell me everything.
Yeah.
And we even had to ask the tour guide later about
more stuff.
Because she didn't talk about Leon Gleckman. And he seemed to be very prominent. He's in the books I've bought. And she actually had a story that
I don't know if it's true. Don't quote us or the place.
No.
This secret. I might have
but
to
I
cut
remember,
this out.
I remember in my brain, she said that at one point someone had done him dirty.
Oh, you never.
He did not
never do a gangster dirty.
He either, I don't know, like ripped him off some money or like he owed him money.
It's always money.
Most likely. So he tells this guy to like, hey, meet me at this bridge. And I don't know if it was overlooking the Mississippi.
Yeah.
Was it
it was one of those. It
the Wabasha Bridge, maybe? That's close to the caves.
I think it was whatever was closest to the buildings.
Okay.
So I don't think it's any of our main bridges now.
It might have been rebuilt.
Yeah.
But anyways, he told him to meet him there. So the guy's standing there. And we don't know if it was Leon for sure. We know he's the one who sent his men or him was in the car. Yeah. So they pull up.
He probably stayed in his office nice and safe. Didn't get his little hands dirty.
Yeah, he had like a penthouse suite at the...
I'd stay in there. I'd be like, do you want to do this job for me? Yeah.
Yeah, St. Paul Hotel.
So he got his boys.
Yep. So they went out in their car, found this guy on the bridge, and they just kind of like kicked him off. Like they probably shot him and then kind of just went like kicked him off over the edge into the water.
I should be laughing, just the concept of it.
It's straight out of a movie.
Yeah, that's straight up movie stuff right there.
That's crazy. Like,
love it. But like, don't
it's
kick
awful,
people off
but
bridges.
Like, it's
Please
so
don't kick
interesting. History.
Off of a bridge. Yeah.
1920s history.
For someone who was, like, he had such a big name here. Mm-hmm. We don't know a lot about him.
Right.
Like, his name isn't plastered on anything.
No, but he was the Al Capone of St. Paul.
Literally.
Yeah.
Which I very much appreciate.
He himself, like Al, was a businessman. Mm-hmm. He had a lot of connections he was friends with the chief of police. Yeah, he got him elected.
He got him elected. I thought that was pretty...
And appointed to duty. I think he was probably friends with the mayor.
Oh, yeah. He had to be.
He had a lot of connections.
He's probably the one who said, we'll do our crime across the bridge if, we work something out.
Yeah. But then later on, I think he got arrested for tax fraud or something.
Who got kidnapped? Said Al Capone.
He got kidnapped for a little bit, and they released him back to his family. Yeah, he was fine. I think, did someone try to bomb his car? Was that him?
Oh, I don't know.
I thought someone placed a bomb on someone's car.
Don't bomb people's cars.
Like, it was rough out there. Like, prohibition.
Yeah, everyone's mad that they didn't get their
alcohol. But yeah, no, he was kidnapped too, but he was released.
They're so used to not having alcohol, they just hang out there.
Yeah, because there's a bar down there, and I don't know if they have regular speakeasy nights or if it's just...
Can you imagine if you're a bartender and you're like doing inventory and you see liquor missing and you're like, okay, who's snatching my liquor?
Right.
And it's just the ghost.
That would be hilarious.
I would be so mad.
And I think those are the big names.
Oh, yeah. I think it's interesting how there are so many ghosts in this cave when I don't know how many people, like the ratio of how many people experience versus don't experience anything.
Right. Yeah. And obviously the people who work there more are going to see more.
100%.
Because they're spending more time there. And then probably, people who are sensitive to paranormal and spirits and stuff like that.
I'm just glad I don't see a lot of that stuff.
Right? I kind of wish I did.
No.
I find it interesting.
One time's enough. One time. That's all it took.
Yeah, I'm trying to see if that was him that got...
If we did see something in that cave during the tour, I think I would have ran out.
Would you have?
Yeah, I think I would have.
I probably would have frozen fear.
And just vomit.
I'm not much for throwing up.
Lauren would have thrown up.
Yeah.
No, I would have hightailed it out of there. I don't want anything to attach to me.
Yeah, that's another thing too. Yeah, I can't find anything about the car bombing. But there was a shootout for that Barker Karpus gang. There was a tip-off where their hideout was, and they had a shootout in their house. But I think they escaped through...
So mad.
I don't know if they had the street caves out the back or something like that. They somehow escaped, though, and they got out of...
Remember in the cave, in the dark, spoopy part, through the big part, there's like that hidden room that was like caved in?
Yeah.
Had a bunch of stuff in it.
I just remember rubble.
Yeah.
Was there a chair in there? One of the rooms had another chair.
There was a tire, I think.
There was a tire. There was a basketball hoop.
But I found that was for
it was like for a commercial shoot.
Yeah, when we had was it for
some
the popular basketball? I don't watch basketball, but we had like the
was
four.
It LeBron? No.
But
who was
like the
Michael?
4 teams.
No, Michael Jordan wasn't there.
No.
I don't know what it was.
We had like the 4 teams do like their little basketball off.
Yeah, they did something for a commercial. Why they picked the hair?
Yeah. But it was kind of cool. But again, little sneaky room entrance to another cave.
Yeah.
Where the mushies are, probably.
Oh, it's got to be a maze. It's probably a whole huge maze back there. I don't even want to think. Because then farther back, there's probably so many ghosties that are trapped in those caves.
You imagine, like, if that actually did cave in on someone, they're stuck in there.
Yeah.
Body and spirit. Like,
yeah.
You're just a ghost hanging out in a
And
dark
sandstone,
room.
Is sandstone pretty durable or no? I feel like it crumbles.
Yes and no.
If there's
To an
water, it
extent,
could crumble.
Yeah. Luckily, that's above sea level.
Mm-hmm. But I think
That's
there's
not a
caves in
place.
because there's like the upper part. I think there's a way to get in through the top. I think I
would
saw
hope.
like people just like goofing around and they found like cave
Can you
entrances.
imagine you're just like walking, hiking, and you fall through?
That would suck.
Oh.
You'd be dead.
Yeah.
Depending on how far down, there's no way out.
That's really tall too. That's like a
It's a big cliff.
I think just the building, the front of the building itself is 2 stories high.
Mm-hmm.
Doesn't mean the cave is 2 stories high,
No.
but the structure that was
It's
built.
like, what are these? 8-foot ceilings? 9-foot ceilings? It's probably about that height.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
Maybe
not too
just a
big.
little
And
bit
it
shorter.
curves.
Yes, that's
And there it's like, it's domed.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I think once you get into the actual big cave part, that's a lot taller.
Yes.
But still not,
Yeah.
it's not 2 stories.
No. And
But
they've
the
redone
cave-
this a little bit. There's
yeah.
some original stuff, architecture, but then it's been upgraded, I think, in like the
I think it has to be up to code because
50s
when
or
you,
60s.
Yeah, when you have a registered event space, it has to be up to code. Sprinklers, everything.
Okay.
So it loses integrity historical wise, but
Yeah.
I mean the walls are still the same, which
Yeah.
is cool. The fireplace hasn't changed.
Right?
The
That's
floor
pretty
is
cool.
still the same.
There's a lot of it that they tried to keep
Yeah.
and then just
I think
updated
they were
probably
able
what they
to.
need.
It's kind of like certain historical sites that are event spaces. They can kind of fight the system a little bit, work around to keep it more. You can like register it as like this is 95% original
Yep.
or higher, and then they're usually like okay.
Yeah.
But if it's like 70%, they'll be like no, you have to put these 12 things in, and that just like brings down the percentage of authenticity.
Yeah.
But the caves are cool. If you're ever in St. Paul, you have to see
Yes.
these. You have to see the cave.
I don't think
it's
they do.
cash
Yeah, cash only.
for the tickets. We learned that the hard way.
I don't think they have
Winter tours.
winter tours. It's pretty. They have like a set calendar.
If you're in it for the ghosties, definitely come during like the very end of November through October. It's worth it.
Yeah, and they also do tours around the city too. You get in a car.
Yeah. I thought that was
And they drive
neat.
you around. I want to do
So
that
they
too.
go by all like the gangster prominent locations.
Yep. Ma Barker and
Yeah.
their house. Thought we drove past it, but I couldn't tell for sure.
Yeah, we try to hunt for some of these locations. It's hard.
Yeah, and the tours, let's see. Yeah, they're like $9. Pretty
Yeah,
basic.
it wasn't bad, but it's cash.
They're like hour-long tours,
You
which
have
is
to
normal.
use cash.
Yeah.
But it's 1,000,000,000% worth it because it's cool because it's local. Like how many people can say that,
Yeah.
you know, Al Capone, John Dillinger came through here.
Yeah, they're like, there's only 3 tours a week, so it's pretty sparse.
Was it Monday when we went, or was it Sunday?
Saturday, Sunday, and Thursdays.
Yeah.
They are open. And they do swing night every Thursday. So that's cool.
So you get to dress up with the ghosts. The
Yeah.
dancing ghosts will teach you a thing
Oh, it
or
looks
two.
like they do the ghost tours. Well, some Sundays, sporadically. There's one in April.
Check out their website.
Yeah, check out their website. And they have a lot of pictures. It's pretty cool.
I don't know if I could do a ghosty tour.
I would want to.
I know you would. Oh, I get scared.
But hopefully we can go back and we can get
Yes.
some footage, some vlog footage, and show you guys. I think
Yeah.
that'd be a really cool video.
It's so cool.
But
Yeah. Let us know if you go to the tours.
yes.
They're so much fun. Or if you know anyone who's from St. Paul, make them go. And then report back.
Yes. Report any ghost sightings.
Yes. Or
Let
if
us-
you know anyone
Yeah.
who knows.
Let us know in the comments.
Yeah.
Like, subscribe, follow, listen. You're already doing that, hopefully.
Yeah, right?
Otherwise, you've clicked off, and I'm sorry.
Oh, yeah. If you're still watching, thank you.
Yeah.
Especially this topic, I think, is one of our favorites.
Yes, and we could go more in depth, but I didn't
We'll
write.
save that for Patreon.
I didn't write a whole thing. We could go, yeah. If you want to hear more about this, we will put it on Patreon. I have loads of paper, personal paper research on this.
Yeah. You're basically a professional on this topic.
Oh, it's so cool.
We've definitely dumped it down for this cast. But yeah,
But thank y'all for joining.
and we'll see you in the next one.
Goodbye.
Bye.